we were discussing about laws of chemical combination. Okay, laws of chemical combination. We have already studied 3 laws. One is law of conservation of mass. Law conservation of mass. So this was stated by Lavoisier. It states that matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. Or in a chemical reaction, how we can apply it here? In a reaction, total mass of the reactants is equal to total mass of the products. You can state it in either way. Okay. So in simple way, how we can state it? Matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. This is law of conservation of mass. Next comes law of definite proportions. Law of definite proportions. This was stated by Joseph Proust. It says that given compound always contains exactly the same proportion of elements by mass. Given compound always contains exactly the same proportion of elements by weight. Same proportion of elements by weight. I give you the illustration by taking the example of water. Water, you collect it from any source. Pure water means it always contains hydrogen and oxygen combined in a ratio 1:8 by mass. 1 mass of hydrogen, then 8 mass of oxygen. In that ratio only it combines. However you prepare it, like that. Given compound always contains exactly the same proportion of elements by weight. The next one is law of multiple proportion. Next one is law of multiple proportions. Law of multiple proportion. Yeah, what is the statement? When same two elements combine to form more than one compounds. Okay, so law of multiple proportion, it is stated by Dalton. Okay, so two elements can combine to form more than one compounds when two elements can combine to form more than one compounds. Right? When two elements combine to form more than one compounds, the masses of one element, the masses of one element, the masses of one element, okay, the masses of one element that combines with a fixed mass of the other, that combines with a fixed mass of the other, that combines with fixed mass of the other element are in the ratio of small whole number. Other element are in the ratio of small whole numbers. Small whole numbers. Well, this is the statement. Now let me illustrate it by taking an example of hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen combine to give two element compounds. One is hydrogen peroxide. So these two can combine with forming two elements. One is hydrogen peroxide. Formula is H2O2. Another one is water, H2O. Both contains hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen, here it is 2, H2. Oxygen, it is 32, it is 16. Right? Now this mass is fixed, leave it. You have the ratio of different masses of this element that combine with fixed mass of the hydrogen. It will be 32:16 or 2:1, a simple whole number ratio. Okay, so this is what we studied on that day, right? We studied on that day this, right? Then we will go to next item, that is Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes. So up to this we studied, it is repetition. Next item is Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes. Gay-Lussac's, L-U-S-S-A-C apostrophe, Gay-Lussac's law of combining Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes. Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes, or Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes. You better tell it. Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes. Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes. Yeah. First, let me illustrate it. Okay? So don't take it down, just listen. What do you mean by a gaseous reaction? What do you mean by gaseous reaction? Reaction in which all the reactants and products are gases. Okay? That's called a gaseous reaction. Reaction in which all the reactants and products, are gases, are called what? Are called gaseous reactions. Gaseous reactions. This is for your information, that's all. It's not the statement. Let me consider a gaseous reaction. Which gaseous reaction shall I write? Okay, let me take the combination of nitrogen and hydrogen to give ammonia M2. It is a gas. H2, it is a gas. Ammonia, it is a gas. It is a gaseous reaction. That is to balance this. And 2, it should be 2. 2H3, 3H2. Yeah, it is balanced. It is a gaseous reaction because all the reactants and the products are gases. So here gases combine, and if you take this, gases are formed. Okay, gases are formed. So the statement is, when gases combine or are produced, I shall write the statement, when statement, okay, statement when gases combine, when gases combine or are produced, when gases combine or are produced in a chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, okay, when gases combine or are produced in a chemical reaction, they do so in a simple ratio. They do so in a simple ratio. They do so in a simple ratio by volume, simple ratio by volume. Yes, provided all the volumes, okay, all gases provided all gases are at same temperature and pressure, provided all gases are at same temperature and pressure. Yes, if you want to tell about the volume of a gas, then unless and until you mention the temperature and pressure, it is meaningless. Here all the gases are, volumes of all the gases are, volumes produced, all the gases are at the same temperature and pressure. Okay, at the same temperature and pressure. Yes, listen, this is a statement. So if you are asked to state Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume, you have to write this. When gases combine or are produced in a chemical reaction, they do so in a simple ratio by volume, provided all gases are at same temperature and pressure. Now let us take this. It is a gaseous reaction. Correct. Now, since no number is there, it means 1. So you have to write 1 volume. Hydrogen, how many volumes? 3 moles means 3 volumes. 3 volumes. Okay. Then ammonia, how much? Since it is also a gas, right? 2 volume. 2 volume in the sense same. If it is 1 liter, it takes 3 liter, and ammonia produced will be 2 liter. Okay. Now what is the ratio? So the ratio is 1:3:2. 1:3:2. It is a simple whole number ratio. Simple whole number ratio. Okay, that is how we can illustrate it. Okay, so nitrogen, it is a balanced equation. 1 mole means 1 volume, you right? 3 mole means 3 volumes, you right? 2 moles means 2 volumes, you right? So they react and produce in this ratio only, 1:3:2. That means if nitrogen is 1 liter, you have to take hydrogen how many liters? 3 liters. And you have to take ammonia 2 liters. You have to take ammonia 2 liters. Here you can extend it for ammonia also, because it is also a gas. It is also a gas. Now I shall write one more. One more let me give. Okay. Another I shall give you. Is N2 gas plus O2 gas giving 2NO is a gas. It is nitric oxide. NO is nitric oxide. Right? Can you tell what volume should I write? 1 volume. 1. This is also 1 volume. This is a 2 volume. So the ratio is 1:1:2. 1:1:2. A simple whole number ratio. Okay. Gases they combine or are produced. They combine or are produced in a chemical reaction. Okay, they do so in a simple whole number ratio by volume. What is condition? All the volumes are measured under same conditions of temperature and pressure. All the volumes are to be measured under, if this is 1 liter, this is also 1 liter, this is 2 liter, you get this 2 liter. All these 3 volumes are to be measured under same conditions of temperature and pressure. This is Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume. Okay, Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volume. Okay. One very simple problem I shall give you. Say, what is this is a simple problem. What is the volume of oxygen gas required? What is the volume of oxygen gas required to burn 2 liter of methane completely. Okay. So 2 liters of methane gas is there. So for burning anything you require oxygen. No? The problem is, what is the volume of oxygen required to burn completely? How much? 2 liter of methane. 2 liter of methane. Okay. At the same or 2 liter methane, that's what. The implied meaning is at the same condition of temperature and pressure, that is the implied meaning. Let me write the reaction of burning of methane. Methane is CH4. It is a gas. Oxygen NO2. It is a gas. What you are getting is carbon dioxide. What is the gas? And water. Limit. Water limit. We don't want. Yeah, balance it. H4, 2, O2, 2O, 4. I should write 2. Right? See this, it is balanced now. Both are gases. Leave that we don't want. So what volume should I write here? 1 liter. Instead of writing 1 volume, I write 1 liter. Because nothing is there, 1. Come on, how many liters I should write here? 2 liters. Right? So 1 liter of methane, am I right? 1 liter of methane for burning requires how much? 2 liters of oxygen. 2 liters of oxygen gas. Therefore, how much they have asked? 2 liter of methane. 2 liter of methane requires. Okay, 1 liter requires 2 liter, therefore 2 liters. It is a 4 liter. The answer is 4 liter. So oxygen required is twice the volume of methane gas. Oxygen required for burning is twice the volume of methane gas. In that way, you must remember it. Okay, how you got that? Balanced chemical equation. Balanced chemical equation. Here, what is the implied meaning? Both these volumes are under same condition of temperature and pressure. This is how they may ask simple problems on this. So balance the equation and then accordingly predict in which ratio they react. If the products are also gases, in which ratio they are produced. Okay, then calculate for the item which they have asked. So we will solve many more problems later on. One simple problem I give. Yes. Now, next let me distinguish between atom and molecule. Okay? Let me distinguish between an atom and a molecule. Atom and molecule. Let me distinguish between an atom and molecule. What is an atom? Atom is the smallest part of an element. An atom is the what? An atom is the smallest part of an element. Smallest part of an element. Yes, I shall continue, which may or may not exist, which may or may not exist. This is very important. Atom is what? Atom is the smallest part of an element, but it may exist or may not exist. So I shall give a few examples. If I write C, it is an atom of carbon. It exists. Iron, sulfur, okay, helium. These are all atoms which exist. Atoms which exist. Okay. On the other hand, hydrogen atom. On the other hand, these are atoms which exist. Atom which exist. Carbon. I shall write a few more. Okay. Let me write a few more. Sodium atom, it exists. Neon atom, it exists. Okay. Argon atom, it exists. Krypton atom, it exists. Copper atom, it exists. Okay. Copper atom. Gold, it exists. Silver, it exists. Like the lithium, it exists. These are some of the atoms which exist. Then, what about chlorine? What about chlorine? We write Cl. It does not exist because the moment it is formed, two join together, giving what we call molecule. Chlorine, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, okay, etc. Atoms which do not exist. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿ? ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಕಣ ಆಟಮ್. ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಗಬಹುದು, ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ನಿನ ಒಂದು ಐಟಮು, ಸೋಡಿಯಮ್ಮು, ಕಾಪರು, ಸಿಂಬಾಲ್ ಏನು ಬರಿತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಐಟಮ್. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ವಿಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಐಟಮ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಒಂದು ಐರನ್ ಐಟಮ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಂತ ಇವು ನೋಡಿ, ನಾನೇನು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೇನಲ್ವಾ, ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್, ಅವು ಕೂಡ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ಗಳು. ಬಟ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿ, ದೇ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಅವು ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ? ವೆನ್ ಟೂ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ದೇ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಎ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಸಿಗೋದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಯಾವುದೇ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಸಣ್ಣ ಕಣ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ನಾವು? ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಅದರ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಇರಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲೇನೂ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಇಲ್ಲೇನೂ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಇನ್ನು ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ? ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಐ ಶಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಓಕೆ, ಎ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ತೇನೆ, ಎ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಈಸ್ two or more than two or more atoms. A molecule is two or more atoms combined. ಎರಡು ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಆಟಮ್ಗಳು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್. ಎ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಈಸ್ two or more atoms, okay, combined. If both the atoms are of same element, sarina, so or they may be of a different element. So two molecule is two or more atoms, right? Two or more atoms of same element, of same element or different elements, different elements. If atoms of same element combine, we get molecule of the element. If atoms of, I shall further write, a molecule exist. A molecule exists. Molecule ಯಾವುದೂ ಇರಲಿ, ಅದು ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಉಂಟು. A molecule exists. Okay. If two or more atoms of same element, if two or more atoms of the same elements combine, we get molecule of an element, molecule of an element. ಈ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು Cl ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು, ಬಟ್ Cl2 ಅನ್ನೋದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು Cl2 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೇವೆ. ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲ ಆಟಮ್, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇವು ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗಿದೆ, ಟೂ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಂಬೈನ್ಡ್ ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್. ಇವು ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಇನ್ನು ಇಫ್ ಟೂ ಆರ್ ಮೋರ್ atoms of different elements combine in a fixed proportion, we get molecule of a compound. We get molecule of a compound. ಮೇಲೆ ಬರೀತೇನೆ, if two or more atoms of different elements combine definite proportion. Definite proportion. Okay, what do you get? A molecule of the compound is obtained. Definite proportion. What do you get? A molecule of the compound. A molecule of the compound is obtained. ಸರಿನಾ? ಆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೋಡಿ, H2O, 2 ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್, 1 ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್. ಇದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. ಇದೇನಿದೆ? ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್, ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್. ಅದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್. ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್, 1 ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ 2 ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ಅದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಓಕೆ, CH4 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀಥೇನ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಗಳು ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಇಂದಾಗಲಿ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದಾಗಲಿ ದೇ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಲಿ. ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಂಪೌಂಡಿನ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳು ಅದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೀಮಿತವಾಗಿದ್ದು, ಕಂಪೌಂಡಿನ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ಮೇ ಆರ್ ಮೇ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವು ಕೂಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರು ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದಾಗಲಿ ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಇಂದಾಗಲಿ ದೇ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಪುನಃ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕೇಳಿ, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಈಗ ಆಟಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್. ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಕಣ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮತ್ತೆ ವಿಭಜನೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಕಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಆಟಮು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಆಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್. ಎನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಆದರೆ ಆಟಮು ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಆಗದೇನೂ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಎನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಮೇ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಮೇ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಈಗ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಅದರ ಆಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಐರನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಐರನ್, ಹೀಲಿಯಂ, ಸಲ್ಫರ್ ಬೇಡ, ಹೀಲಿಯಂ, ಸೋಡಿಯಂ, ನಿಯಾನ್, ಆರ್ಗಾನ್, ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟಾನ್, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳು ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಆಟಮ್ Cl ಅಂತ ಬರಿತೇವಲ್ವಾ, ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಆಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಆಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಟಮ್ ಹೌದಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅವುಗಳ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಇನ್ನು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ? ಎ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಸ್ಮಾಲೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್ ವಿಚ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಎ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಈಸ್ 2 or more atoms. Okay, a molecule is ನೋಡಿ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡುವ. ಎ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. ಎ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. We change a little. A molecule is formed when, okay, 2 or more atoms. A molecule is formed when 2 or more atoms, minimum 2 ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ 2ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. A molecule is formed when 2 or more atoms of same element or different elements. Right? Molecule ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ? It is formed when 2 or more atoms of same element or different elements combine. ಒಂದೊಮ್ಮೆ ಆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳು ಒಂದೇ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ? ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್. ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್. ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅನ್ನುವ ಶಬ್ದ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿಗೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಂಪೌಂಡಿಗೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಬಟ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಪ್ಪ ನಮಗೆ? ಇಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. 2 ಐಟಮ್ ಕೂಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ 2 ಐಟಮ್ ಕೂಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ O2 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೇವೆ ನಾವು, H2 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೇವೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಇನ್ನು ಆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. ಇಫ್ 2 or more atoms of different elements combine in a definite proportion, ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಗೋ ಕೂಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಅನುಪಾತದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕದು. in a definite proportion a molecule of the compound is obtained. Water, ಎರಡು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಎರಡು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಹೀಗೆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದು ಆಟಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೀಮಿತ ಆಗಿದ್ದು, ಕಂಪೌಂಡಿಗೆ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳ ಅಸ್ತಿತ್ವ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಇಲ್ಲದೇನೆ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ, ಎರಡು ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಆಟಮ್ಗಳು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಕೂಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನಮಗೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್, ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕೇ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ, ಅದು ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಮ್ಮೊಮ್ಮೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳು ಒಂದೇ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತೇವೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್. ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿಗೂ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಂತೆ. ಈಗ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ H2 ಅಂತ ಬರಿತೇವೆ, ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ Cl2 ಅಂತ ಬರಿತೇವೆ, ಅದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. ಅದೇ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳು ಒಂದು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಅನುಪಾತದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೇನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್. ವಾಟರ್ ಇದೊಂದು ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್, ಇದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. ಮೀಥೇನ್ ಅದೊಂದು ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಟಮೇ, ಆಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದು ಯಾವುದಪ್ಪ, ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ದಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಅದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿನ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕಂಪೌಂಡಿನ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆ, ಎಸ್. ನೌ ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಗೋ ಟು ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಅಟಾಮಿಸಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಟು ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೈ atomicity. Yes, now I already told you the smallest part of an element is called atom. It may exist or may not exist. Why it may not exist? Because many atoms of the same element may combine together giving molecule. Atomicity is the number of atoms of an element present in its molecule. Atomicity is the number of atoms present in a molecule of the element. ಸರಿನಾ? ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್. ಒಂದೊಮ್ಮೆ ಒಂದೇ ಆಟಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಮೊನೋ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಮೊನೋ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಆಟಮ್, ಅಥವಾ ಇಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಆಟಮ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ನಾವು? ಮೊನೋ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್. ಈ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೊನೋ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್. ಹೀಲಿಯಂ ನಾವು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಬರೀತೇವೆ, ನಿಯಾನ್ ಹೀಗೆ ಬರೀತೇವೆ, ಆರ್ಗಾನ್, ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟಾನ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮೊನೋ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಒಂದೊಂದು ಐಟಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ, ಅವು ಕುಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದು ಕುಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಐಟಮ್. ಇನ್ನು ಡಯಾಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಡಯಾಟಾಮಿಕ್ atomic molecule contains how many atoms? Molecules contain ಎಷ್ಟು atom? Two atoms. Molecules contains two atoms. For example ನೋಡಿ, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ N2 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೇವೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ O2 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೇವೆ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ H2 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೇವೆ, ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ Cl2 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೇವೆ. ರೈಟ್ ನೋ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಡಯಾಟಮಿಕ್. ಇದು ಓಝೋನ್ O3, O3 ಅದು ಟ್ರೈ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್, O3. ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್ P4 ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೇವೆ, ಅದೇನದು? ಟೆಟ್ರಾ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ P4 ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. ಇದು ಟೆಟ್ರಾ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್. ಫೋರ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್, 4 ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್. ಸಲ್ಫರ್ S8 ಇದು ಆಕ್ಟಾ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಡ, ಆಕ್ಟಾ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿದ್ದು ಗ್ಯಾಸಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡೋದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಇದು ಬೇಡ, ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಮೊನೋ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಗ್ಯಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಅಟಮಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮೊನೋ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಎರಡೆರಡು ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ಗಳು ಕೂಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಂದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆದರೆ ಅಂಥ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ? ಡೈಅಟಾಮಿಕ್. ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? N2 ಅಂತಲೇ ಬರೀಬೇಕು, N ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬಾರ್ದು. ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ Cl2, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ O2, ಓಕೆ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ H2 ಅಂತ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಡೈಅಟಾಮಿಕ್. ಇನ್ನು ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾದರೆ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಪಾಲಿಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ಕು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಫ್ polyatomic containing more than 2 atoms. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಅಟಮ್ ಇದ್ದದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ಪಾಲಿಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಪಾಲಿಅಟಾಮಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ದಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? ಸೊ atomicity is the number of atoms present in a molecule of the element. Compound element. So those gases which exist in the form of a single atom like helium, neon, argon, krypton, they are all called monoatomic. But if a molecule contains 2 atoms like nitrogen, chlorine, hydrogen, etc., we call them diatomic. N2, O2, H2, Cl2. Okay, because these atoms, they do not exist. Immediately they combine to form molecules. So they are diatomic. Okay, this is how we can distinguish between an atom and a molecule, and this is about atomicity. Now let me go to Avogadro law. Next, let me go to Avogadro law. Yes. I shall take different gases, but same volume. Okay? Shall I take 1 liter? 1 liter. This also 1 liter. This also 1 liter. So, when you want to tell about the volume of a gas, you have to specify under what pressure and temperature. So, under same temperature and pressure. All are same temperature and pressure. They have to be measured under same temperature. I have taken different gases. Here, let me take hydrogen gas. It contains what? Molecules. Hydrogen molecules. Okay. In this, I have taken oxygen molecule. Oxygen gas I have taken, it contains oxygen molecule. In this, I have taken chlorine molecules. Molecules are different. Hydrogen molecules will never match with oxygen molecule. Oxygen molecule will never match with the chlorine molecule. What I have taken is equal volumes of different gases I have taken. You can take any number. So, Avogadro law says that equal volumes of all the gases contain equal volumes of all the gases contain equal number of molecules. If it has got n molecules of hydrogen, this also will have n molecules but of oxygen. This also will have n molecules but of chlorine. Okay, so how can you state it? Equal volumes of all gases at the same temperature and pressure, at the same temperature and pressure contain what? Contain equal number of molecules. This statement is called Avogadro law. You understood? So what you have to take? You can extend it to any gases. You may take 10 gases, but the condition is same volume under same conditions of temperature and pressure. Then if you count the number of molecules present in each, it will be exactly same. That's the statement what we call Avogadro law. Come on, how will you state it? Equal volumes of all gases at the same temperature and pressure. Equal volumes of all gases at the same temperature and pressure contains what? Equal number of molecules. The number of molecules will be same. What molecule this hydrogen has, same number of molecules oxygen too will have, and exactly the same number of molecules this chlorine will have. Okay, I never told same molecules are different, but the number will be same. Okay, the number will be same, equal number of molecules. This is Avogadro law. Okay, so generally any one law of chemical combination will be asked in the examination. State Avogadro law or state Gay-Lussac's law of volumes. Like that. State and illustrate law of definite proportion. State and illustrate law of multiple proportion. State law of conservation of mass. So any one generally they ask in the examination. Okay. So be thorough with this. Now let me go to another item. Very important from the point of view of your examination. Very important. That is Dalton's atomic theory. Okay, Dalton's atomic theory. Very important. Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. Some points are there. What do you call them? Postulates. Those points we call them postulates. Postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. The question, typical question, what are the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory? Very important, dear students, very important from the point of view of examination. What are the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory? Yes, first point says that matter, okay, matter, you know what is matter? Anything which has mass and occupies space. A matter consists of a large number of minute particles called atoms. Any matter, it consists of what? A large number of minute particles called atoms. Atoms cannot be divided. Atoms are indivisible, means they cannot be divided. But later on, it was found that atoms can be further divided, all those things are different. But during those days, okay, so in those days, in 1808, when Dalton proposed this, he thought that atoms cannot be divided. So I shall write the first point, matter consists of made up of what? A large number of minute particles. A large number of minute particles called atoms. Matter consists of a large number of minute particles called atoms. Atoms cannot be divided. Atoms cannot be divided. You cannot divide an atom. You cannot divide an atom. The last stage is atom. That is the first point. Okay. Then, atoms of all the atoms of a given element have same properties. Okay. You take carbon. Different atoms, several atoms will be there now. You find the mass of each carbon atom. Okay, find the volume of each carbon atom. Exactly same. Okay. Atoms of, all the atoms of an element will have same properties like mass, volume, everything. But atoms of different elements, they have different properties. Atoms of carbon will never match with atoms of silver. It never matches with atoms of copper. It never matches with atoms of helium. But all the atoms of helium are same. All the atoms of carbon are same in property. All the properties. All the atoms of copper are same. Okay? That is the second point. All the atoms. Number 2 point is number 1 point. Second point I shall write here. All the atoms of the same element. All the atoms of the same element have what? Same properties. Same properties. All the atoms of same element, they have same properties. But atoms of different elements, have what? Have different properties. What the idea? Atoms of same elements, they have same properties. But atoms of different elements, they have different properties. Then how, next point is, a compound is formed. How? When atoms of different elements combine together in a fixed ratio. Okay? Compounds are formed. Next point, point number 3. Compounds are formed. Compounds are formed when atoms of what? Different elements. When atoms of different elements, yeah, what they do? Combine. Atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio. That's what we call definite proportion. Fixed ratio, we call it definite proportion. Okay. So, how is a compound formed? A compound is formed when atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio. Then the next point is, atoms can neither be created nor be destroyed. The fourth one, atoms can neither be, N-E-I-T-H-E-R, neither be created nor be destroyed. Neither be created nor be destroyed. So you cannot produce an atom without anything, or you cannot totally destroy the atom. These are the 4 points, what we call postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Dear students, it is very difficult to find a question paper without this question. What are the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory? I shall read it out again. Matter consists of a large number of minute particles called atoms. Atoms cannot be divided. So we can say atoms are indivisible. Atoms are indivisible. Indivisible means which cannot be divided. Okay. Next point is all the atoms of same element, they are same properties, but atoms of different elements have different properties. Okay. Third one, how is a compound formed? Compounds are formed when atoms of different elements combine. How? In a fixed ratio. In a fixed ratio. Then atom can neither be created nor be destroyed. This is what you have studied in laws of chemical combination. See, atom can neither be created nor be destroyed. It is law of conservation of mass. It is law of constant composition. All those they are there. Okay, very important. So practice it very well. Okay, practice it very well. Atomic. Now we can distinguish between atoms and molecules. Atoms are of elements only. Molecules may be of element or may be compound. If atoms of same elements combine, what you are getting is a molecule of an element. When atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio, what you are getting is a molecule of a compound. But a molecule always exists. Atoms may or may not exist. Atom is very small. Atom is very small. We cannot see them. Very, very, very minute. Now we will go to atomic and molecular masses. Atomic and molecular masses. Atomic and molecular masses. So actually, lightest element is hydrogen. Mass of one hydrogen atom, it is, I shall give you one idea. Mass of one hydrogen atom is 1.6736 into 10 to the power minus 24, 1.6736 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. This is the mass of one hydrogen atom. Like that, see how inconvenient it is. How inconvenient it is. Very complicated number. So what the scientists first did, lightest element is hydrogen. Okay. They took the mass of one atom of hydrogen as 1. Mass of one atom of hydrogen is 1. They took. With respect to that, atoms of other elements, how many times heavier they are? You got the idea? How many times an atom of an element is heavier compared to mass of one atom of hydrogen? That they named it as atomic mass. But later on, it was found that. So initially they took hydrogen as the reference element. Later on it was found that hydrogen has got different isotopes. So they changed that reference element from hydrogen to carbon. From hydrogen what they did? They took carbon. Mass of one atom of carbon, of course carbon also exists in the form of C12, C14, but C12 isotope is the most common. So mass of one atom of carbon 12 isotope is taken as 12 units. Okay. So mass of one atom of carbon 12, mass of one atom of carbon 12 is taken as 12 is taken as a 12, okay, one atomic mass is taken as a 12 atomic mass unit, AMU. AMU refers to atomic mass unit. Yes. What is the mass of one atom of carbon 12? Mass of one atom of carbon 12, it is taken as 12 atomic mass unit. Then what about one atomic mass unit? One atomic mass unit is 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12. Okay. So 1 AMU, 1 AMU, that is atomic mass unit. 1 AMU is 1/12 the mass of 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12. Okay. So that is what we call 1 AMU. So what is one atomic mass unit? One atomic mass unit is 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12. Okay. Its value is right, 1 AMU means its value is, okay, that is 1.66056. 1.66056 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. So in the examination they will ask, what is one atomic mass unit? So 1 AMU, it is 1/12 the mass of 1/12, 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12. What is its value in grams? 1.66056 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. They ask in exam. Then if you take this as 1, other atoms, how many times heavier they are? That is called atomic mass. Okay. Now I can write here, atomic mass is the ratio. Atomic mass. Atomic mass, it is the ratio of what? Mass of one atom of the element. Mass of one atom of the element to denominator 1/12 the mass of 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12. This ratio is called atomic mass unit. This ratio is called atomic mass unit. Mass of one atom, it is relative. If with respect to this, that atom is how many times heavier? Okay. Like that, in terms of AMU, mass of one hydrogen atom is mass of one hydrogen, or I can say therefore atomic mass of hydrogen, atomic mass of hydrogen is 1.008 AMU. 8 AMU. Sometimes it is simply called U. U means unified mass. Nowadays AMU has been replaced by U. U means unified mass. Okay. So what is atomic mass? Atomic, yes, let me go back once again. So which element is taken as reference? Carbon 12 is taken as the reference. What is 1 AMU? 1 AMU, that's 1 atomic mass unit, is 1/12 the 1 AMU, 1 atomic mass unit is 1/12 the mass of 1 atom of carbon 12. Okay, and its value is 1.66056 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. That's what we call 1 AMU. Now, what is atomic mass? Atomic mass is the ratio. Numerator, mass of 1 atom of the element. Denominator, 1/12, the mass of 1 atom of carbon 12. Or denominator, you have to put 1 AMU. That value you have to put. Like that, if you work it out, atomic mass of hydrogen, it will be 1.008 atomic mass unit. 1.008 AMU. Nowadays it is called U means unified mass. U means unified mass. Okay, got the idea? So atomic mass is the ratio of mass of one atom of that element to 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12. 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12. And it is expressed in terms of AMU, or sometimes U refers to unified mass. One more example I shall give. Atomic mass of sulfur is 32 AMU. So what do you meant by this? If you take the ratio of mass of one atom of sulfur to 1/12 the mass of one atom of C12, then you will get the number 32. So it means sulfur atom is 32 times heavier compared to 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12. It is 32 times heavier. That's why atomic mass of sulfur is 32. So atomic mass is the ratio of what? Mass of one atom of that element to 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12. 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon 12 itself is called 1 AMU, and its value is 1.66056 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. Okay? Yes. Now, let me go to average atomic masses. Some elements exist in the average atomic mass. Average atomic mass. Average atomic mass. Yes. Some elements exist in the form of several isotopes. The finding out the average of atomic masses of all the isotopes, considering that relative percentages, not taking the average, giving a due concentration to the percentages, that's called average atomic mass. Average atomic mass, average atomic mass is the average of atomic masses of average of atomic masses of all the isotopes of that element, considering the percentages of the isotopes. This is more important. Considering the percentages, giving due concentration to the percentage of the isotope, if we calculate the average, that will be the average atomic mass. So I shall give one example. Carbon, it has got carbon 12, 13 and 14. Let me see here. Isotopes. Carbon 12, 1, carbon 13 and carbon 14. Isotopes. Then relative abundance, their percentages. I shall write percentages. Okay. 12, it is 98.892. 98.892. 98.892. Then 13, 1.108. 1.108. And 14, it is 2 into 10 to the power minus 10. 2 into 10 to the power minus 10. So percentage, it is also called relative abundance. Relative abundance. Relative abundance or percentage. Okay, this is the percentage. Next comes atomic mass. Okay, next column is atomic mass. Atomic mass. Yeah, of 12 it is 12. It is 12. Then it is 13.00335. 13.00335. Of this it is 14.00317. 14.00317. Now, average atomic mass of carbon. Average atomic mass of carbon. How will it calculate? No? Say 98.892%. 98.892%. Okay, 98.892% of 12 plus, come on, next one, tell me like that, 1.008, 1.108% of 13.00335. 5. Okay, plus one more, 2 into 10 to the power minus 10% of 14.00317. 17. Like that you have to. Maybe 2 or maybe any number. You have to work it out in the same way. And if you work it out using your calculator, it will be 12.011. It will be 12.011 U, unified mass. 12.011 U. So this is how we have to calculate the average atomic mass. Okay, not by simply taking the average of all this, giving due consideration to the percentages. So percentage divided by 100 into corresponding atomic mass. Percentage divided by 100 into corresponding atomic mass. Plus, like that you have to add. And if you simplify it using your calculator, it will be 12.011. It is U or AMU, what we call unified mass. Okay, this is about atomic mass. Then what about molecular mass? Molecular mass is the sum of atomic masses of all the atoms of that molecule. Sum of atomic masses of the elements present in a molecule. Okay, molecular mass molecular mass is the sum of atomic masses. Sum of atomic masses. Sum of atomic masses of the elements present in a molecule. Of the elements present in a molecule. So I shall give some atomic masses, okay, then we will calculate the molecular masses. Some common atomic masses I shall give, okay. Common atomic masses I shall give. Hydrogen atomic masses. Hydrogen 1.008, roughly you can take it as 1. Oxygen 16. Okay, all this unified mass. Sulfur 32. Right, carbon 12. Carbon 12. Okay, calcium 20. Calcium 20. Sodium 23. Now let me calculate the molecular masses. Molecular mass of hydrogen. Yeah, how many hydrogen atoms are there? 2. That is 1.008 into 2. It is 2.016 unified mass. Oxygen, how will you? It is 16 into 2, 32 U or AMU. 32. Okay. Water. H2O. What is the molecular mass? 1.008 into 2 atoms are there, plus oxygen 16. So if you work it out, it will be 18.016. Roughly it is taken 18U. Water 18U. Okay. Then let me write one more. Carbon dioxide. Carbon is 12 into 1, only one atom is there, plus oxygen is 16 into 2. Okay, it comes to 12 plus 32, that is 44U. 44U or 44 AMU. Right now, let me calculate a little higher. Glucose. C6H12O6. Okay. Carbon is 12 into 6. 12 into 6. Plus hydrogen I will take 1 into 12. Oxygen I shall take 16 into 6. 16 into 6. Okay. So if you come find it out, 72 of this, 12 of this, 16 into 6. 96. Okay. If you sum it up, it will be 180U. 180. If you sum it up, 180. Like that, you can calculate the molecular mass of any element or compound. How? By adding the atomic masses of all the elements present in it. By adding the atomic masses of all the elements present in it. Yes, one more I shall give, sulfuric acid. How will you find out? Sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is H2SO4. Sulfuric acid H2SO4. Sulfuric acid. How will you do? 1 into 2 plus sulfur is 32 into 1 plus oxygen is 16 into 4. If you work it out, it will be 98. That is calcium carbonate, CaCO3, 40 into 1, calcium 40 plus 12 into 1, okay, carbon is 1 plus 16 into 3. If you work it out, it will be 100. So this is how you can calculate the molecular mass by adding the atomic masses of all the elements present in it. By adding the atomic masses of all the elements present in it. Okay, you can calculate the molecular mass. Yes, dear students, for calculating the molecular mass, what you want is its exact molecular formula. If the molecular formula is known to you and the atomic masses are given, you can calculate the molecular mass of anything. You can calculate the molecular mass of anything. You have to calculate the molecular mass. You must know the exact formula. Okay? Exact formula. Hope that you understood. Then there is one more term called formula mass. Yes. Let me go to formula mass. Some compounds like sodium chloride, they exist in the form of ions, not molecules. So what we do? We take one formula unit and we calculate the mass. That's called formula mass. Okay? Some compounds like sodium chloride, some compounds like sodium chloride which exist as ions but not molecules, which exist as ions but not molecules. Molecular mass has no meaning. So mass calculated considering its formula unit is called formula mass. Considering the formula unit, that's called formula mass. Because you can't say molecular mass of sodium chloride. It's not so correct because it doesn't exist in the form of molecule. So what we come across? Formula mass. Okay? Formula mass of NaCl is 23 into 1 atomic mass plus 35.5 into 1 atomic mass of chlorine. It comes to 58.5. Again, almost same. If you take this as a molecule, there is a molecular mass. But here, it's not so fair to tell it molecule of sodium chloride, because sodium chloride doesn't exist as molecule. So we consider molecular, instead of molecular mass, we consider formula mass. We consider formula mass. Okay? Yes. Next we will go to mole concept and molar mass. Mole concept and yeah, I shall give, before that, let me give one more exercise. Find the molecular mass of sucrose. Find the molecular mass of sucrose. Atomic masses are there, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon there. So, molecular mass of sucrose. Yeah, what do you need? You need its formula now. C12, H22O11. Come on. You find it out. So how will you do? Students, how will you do? Molecular mass of sucrose, how will you do? Yes, 12 into 12. Each carbon is 12. Such 12. Plus, come on, tell me. 1 into 22. 1 is the atomic mass of hydrogen. Roughly 1. Plus 16 into 11. So you calculate it and write unified mass. So this way you can calculate the molecular mass of any molecule given. Okay, dear students. So practice a lot of finding out the molecular masses with the idea of molecular formula and atomic masses. Okay, so we will meet in the next class, right? So up to that you have to practice different formula, then find out its molecular mass, molecular formula, molecular mass. Atomic masses charts are available. So in your book at the end they are given atomic masses. Use that atomic mass chart and then find out the molecular mass. Okay, so we'll meet in the next class. So till then, bye.